everyone. It is Jeanette with Untamed and Unapologetic. I am so excited to be here today and to have a Becca with us. She is a licensed professional counselor, and I just want her to introduce herself, tell us all how amazing you are.
Well, hello, I'm Becca Ferguson. I'm a licensed professional counselor and I own the therapy office in Springdale, Arkansas, as well as authentic coaching, which you can kind of just do wherever you want. And yeah, that's who I am.
Welcome, Becca. I'm so excited to have you here. The funny story is, I think I connected with you on one of these counselor platforms that we're all in, right? Do you remember
Yes.
which one it was?
Yeah, it was Thriving Therapist and I did one of those super funny anonymous posts on there. So yeah.
Yeah, a lot of us do those super funny anonymous posts, but you know what? I think they're great because it connects you with all the right people.
Yes. And I also work with a lot of clients that are therapists. So this was perfect because there's, like, some things I wanna talk about today that I have clients that are therapists, and I was like, "I'm not ready for you guys to know this stuff just yet. I wanna
Yeah,
kinda reveal it in a super spicy and fun way." So, here I am sprinkling it all out in a super spicy and fun way.
I love that. I love that. So I know for me, I have been in group practice for about 8 years. There's been ups, there's been downs. I've actually never had a solo practice ever. I started group and I have always had a group. But again, there's ups, there's downs, right? And a lot of times I always say, like, you don't know what you don't know until you know. And whenever we figure those things out, they tend to come with like a bunch of falls in the dirt,
Mhm.
right? And so I've had many of those. And I'm excited to hear about yours so that I know that
Yeah.
I'm not alone. But like whenever we get up from falling, that's when we figure out what we didn't know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that for me has sparked open so many different new businesses, so many different ideas, so much different creation. And so tell me, Becca, what is that thing that you didn't know, but now
Oh,
you know?
man. I think the biggest thing that I didn't know, especially, like, this has all been within a 3-year period. So let me just, like, throw that out there because I started my
Yeah.
solo practice in September of 2022, and I became a group practice owner in July of 2023.
Wow.
And so, yeah, let's just go ahead and throw all that out there. But if I could say, like, the one thing I didn't know that I know now is that boundaries aren't just hard lines.
Mm.
And yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing. It's not just hard lines, and you can't just give everything away.
Yeah.
It's boundaries and giving things away. It looks like oh gosh, there's so much I'm sure that
Yeah.
I could say about that because they look like very opposite things, but they do go together, and my ADHD brain was not computing with it at all,
Hmm.
in 2023. Let's just go ahead and throw that.
Yeah. That was really powerful, though. You said boundaries are not always hard lines. Did I say that correctly?
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, talk to me more about what you mean by that.
So, this has been something that I've been working on, especially over this past like couple months, really. Not even just like
Mhm.
the last year, but just the past couple months. I used to think when I'm looking at boundaries, it was like, oh, this is a hard line. This is where I put my foot in the sand. And I just say, you know what? You can't do this to me. That's it,
Mhm.
period. But then it's like, no, that's not a boundary, that's a rule.
Mm,
Like, you just can't do this to me, that's the rule. The
yeah.
boundary was how I reacted to it. So, when people were violating the rule that I had set, the boundary was how I was reacting to it. So, if someone, if I put soda in the fridge and I said, "Hey, this is my soda, don't take my soda," and that's the rule, and, I put that out there
Yeah.
and then they take my soda anyways, then the boundary, how do I what do I do? How do I react to it?
Yeah.
And Like, after they violate it so many times, am I gonna just keep putting the soda in the fridge and keep providing them with it? Or do I lock it away and get a mini fridge and put it in my own
Yeah.
space and do something that's for me because I'm important too and I buy this for me? Or do I just keep providing them with something that because I feel guilty about it? And I
Yeah.
feel like, well, I've been giving it to them for so long, might as well just keep doing it.
That hits on so many levels for me. Like, I've never had that explained that way to me before. So, the boundary is how we react to the rule
Mhm.
that we set.
Yeah. Yes.
I love that.
It's been a game changer for me over the
Yeah.
past couple months because I was on the struggle bus
Yeah.
hard.
I think a lot of not only therapists or women in general, we really, really struggle with the concept of boundaries because we either what people please, we want people to love us, we want people to
Yes.
like us, we want to help people. Like there's so many different reasons to why we struggle with those boundaries. And the way you described it was really good.
Thank you. I've been perfecting that metaphor for the last
Yeah.
couple sessions. And my clients are like, "Can we stop talking about soda for just a little bit?" Like, and they're like, "Can we mix it up? Can we pick another thing out of the food group?" And I'm just like,
Yeah.
"Okay, fine. Like,
Well,
we'll
why don't
pick something else."
yeah, why don't you put what the soda really is? Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
I'm like, I know. I did ask one client one time, I was like, "You go ahead and pick something that, like, you wouldn't share
Uh-huh.
with anybody else," and they're like, "My toothbrush?" I'm like, "I can go with this. I can go with the toothbrush. Watch me go." So,
Yeah.
yeah, but it
No, but that
definitely
is
is a
really
challenge.
powerful.
Yeah. So,
Very
thank you.
powerful. So talk to me more about how that came to be because you obviously had some struggles there that you put all that love and effort and energy into creating that beautiful thing you just said. So what happened?
Yeah. So, as I said, I started my solo practice in September of 2022.
Mhm.
And this was something that I had created mostly because I I was starting to discover around that time period. I was actually inside of a group practice
Okay.
and working as, you know, just someone else's contractor. And that was something that I really I didn't have a problem with. Like it wasn't bad. My values just didn't align with their business model.
Mhm.
And the way that they were marketing was it was fine. I just wasn't getting the clients that were inside of my niche.
Mm.
And so I was like, I could do this. I'm really good at it. I can just go ahead and go out on my own. And so I decided to it was just time. I'm going to go ahead and open my own office. And
Mhm.
I I think one of the first mistakes that I made was that I wanted to scale before I focused on myself.
Yeah.
And so I started with let me find an office with other offices. And so I'm just going to do that so I can have someone else pay my rent for me. I'll sublet. That'll be the first thing that I do. And so, but how do I sublet and make it cheap enough so other people will do this and then like it'll be better for them? How do I make this a good experience for them? And what I found is this thought of, you know, I want to make it something to where they're getting a lot of benefits out of it, but also I want to make it to where I'm financially stable. And it was a lot of learning experiences from that, but I found that people weren't sticking to the contract and I was like, "Oh, it's okay. To I want you to thrive in your business. Oh, you're
Yeah.
going to cancel this 1-year contract that you signed because you found something cheaper? Totally fine. You don't have to pay out the rest of the lease like the lease says. Like that's totally fine." And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, "Becca, why are you doing this?"
Yeah, that is not totally fine, Becca.
Right. But these are the things that are going through my head of, you know, I want to be there for therapists. You
Yeah.
know, I want them to succeed in their business. I
Yeah.
want them to feel powerful. And how can they feel powerful if they have to pay out 10 more months of a lease that
Yeah.
they just canceled with all this debt? Or if they're stuck in an office that, you know, is further away when they found something cheaper or something of that nature. And it's just like it wasn't something that I could compute. It was that people-pleasing mindset that
Mhm.
coming back to me. So, eventually, what ended up happening was a switch inside my brain. Well, I hate the subletting. I still want other people to pay for all the things that I'm doing. And because I'm doing all this business stuff, I'm kind of getting burnt out with my caseload because I'm
Yeah.
discovering I'm an empath. And everything politically that's happening inside of our climate is putting even more pressure on me. The trauma that I'm dealing with my clients is getting even heavier. So I'm I need to reduce my caseload, focus on more business stuff. So what am I going to do? Well, basically, I was running a group practice with the sublets. This is the natural transition. I had no idea that that was not a natural transition, like, at all, and that's eventually what I did, was I opened a
Yeah.
group practice, and, and then, yeah, it was a 2-year adventure of a lot of ups and downs with that.
Yeah. But you know what, Becca? So I've been in doing this for 8 years, right?
Mhm.
And honestly, getting into it, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. No clue. I literally just had a brain fart one day and was like, "You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to do this."
Yeah.
And so I Googled how to start a practice.
Yes.
And I mean, not all of us are lucky and it actually works out. The majority of us who do this out on like a whim, we end up restructuring, closing down, doing something different because I think we get into it so quickly we don't realize it has so many moving parts.
Absolutely. And I would get so upset or defensive
Mhm.
is just like seeing people post about, group practice owners are taking all of our money or they don't care about, you know, how they don't want us to succeed. And then throughout the whole entire time that I did have the group practice, I didn't take any profit at all.
0?
Zero. In fact, the same amount of percentage that I had my clinicians contribute, I did the same. And um it was, even times where I had to contribute more
Mhm.
because we had to meet expenses.
Yeah.
And it was so exhausting trying to be every single thing that I had to be inside of that business.
Mhm.
And then feel like I was going there every day, like I was being questioned.
Yeah.
It it was just like a one day after the next day. And in Arkansas, there was a lot of conversation around independent contractors being inside of group practices. And that was probably what started everything for me of I probably need to change things up.
Yeah.
Mostly because we had an individual that owned a larger, um, a big group,
Mhm.
um, and was trying to, get everybody to go W-2 employees and but did it through fear mongering with
Mm.
smaller group practices. And that really just it was just a terrifying conversation.
It's
Um,
scary.
yeah. And so, calling group practices that had independent contractors, if you're a group practice owner and you have independent contractors, then you're a criminal. And, you know, it's like, well, this is not only terrible,
Yeah.
but if when you're putting this out there and then you actually have these independent contractors inside of the business, you're making it more complicated for them because now no one
Mhm.
wants to work for us.
Yeah.
And so, no matter how much I tried to restructure, how many lawyers I hired that told me, like, hey,
Mhm.
this contract looks good, or we can change it up this way, it didn't matter because one voice changes everything.
Wow.
And I tried so hard to at least, change it into something different. But I found myself working so hard trying to fix a structure or at least change it from a traditional group practice model into something that was like, yeah,
Workable.
yeah, like you come here as an independent contractor for a year and, pay, it's like you pay tuition, basically.
Yeah.
And then you're your own business. You're not even under my NPI. You're your own business. And I'll teach you how to start your own private practice. Like I
Yeah.
was trying to even start a model like that. And
Mhm.
it just like it wouldn't kick. I mean, especially with like the things that the economy was doing. And so I'm like, man, like I feel like I'm just trying to build so much and do it so quickly. And I couldn't please anyone.
Yeah.
And eventually, it was just working until 2 or 3 in the morning, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it's like my family is like, "Where's Becca?"
Yeah.
And then my therapist is like, "Where are you?"
Mhm.
Just like, "That's a really good question." Like, "Where
Yeah.
is Becca?"
And I find, Becca, like this is a big problem, not only in Arkansas, but even in Texas. Like there's just so many people over here that don't understand that or don't even know, right? They don't know what they don't know. And when they find out, like, what? Oh my God, I have an illegal group that I have these 1099 people under and they're not supposed to be there. Like so many people don't know that.
Yeah.
And it's really hard once you figure that out. I met with a young woman, maybe about a month ago, and she had no idea that she was doing something that wasn't supposed to happen. And so I helped her give her ideas of how she could restructure it so that she could be successful. But there's also not a lot of people out there that'll give you that information
Right.
willingly.
Right. And I think that was, one of the things I couldn't wrap my head around was even doing W-2 for a group practice in my area, like, how do I pay someone fairly? And how do I do I do it salary? Do I do it in a way that's like the the pay that people were asking for
Yeah.
and what I could reserve? And then could I even expect for insurance to actually pay?
Yeah.
And then what if insurance didn't pay?
And that happens.
Yes. And then, all of a sudden, I'm screwed. And so, there was a lot of conversations, hours of conversations that I was having with Department of Workforce Services and the IRS and trying to understand why aren't there exceptions for healthcare in these instances? You have all of these different organizations that there are exceptions for,
Mhm.
but the different things that there should be an exception for this particular thing. I was
It
trying
would
to
be nice.
yes. I'm like, do you understand? Like, I think there are people that would appreciate an exception for this because they're not quite ready to go out on their own. They want someone to manage these types of things. The expenses are high, you
Yeah.
know, and there has to be a happy medium with this.
Mhm.
And so it's like, I tried to explain one of the ladies I explained it to with the Department of Workforce Services. She's
Huh?
just like, this actually makes sense. Your software doesn't let you not collect their billing under their your own NPI. You have to do that in a different. I'm like, They're under my tax ID number and my
Yeah.
NPI number. Like, this is I don't understand how like, we have to collect their money.
Yeah.
This is how it works, you know? I'm like, if we could have, 20 different simple practice accounts, then I would
It's
absolutely
expensive.
yeah, but, like, that's a whole other different expense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was a grieving process in and of its own, knowing that there are so many people that do, actually professionally coach people on how to build these practices. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, well, that's what happened with me. And like, I thought I was doing the right thing. I legitimately thought I was doing the right thing. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, am I not doing the right thing?
Yeah.
And I'm second guessing myself. And I have all of these other factors that are coming in play here. And it was scary and it was hard.
Yeah.
And then because other people are doing it, it's that idea. Well, other people are jumping off of a cliff. Like, why don't you
Maybe I
jump off a
should
cliff?
too.
Like, I can just keep it open, like, screw that one person that
Yeah.
said that? And it was very complicated and very, very heart-wrenching just to decide, like, who do I make happy in this situation, and what direction do I go in?
Yeah. Well, that I connect with you on so many different levels. I mean, I have been in group practice, and being in group practice is not always fun. I mean, I've had rises, I've had falls, I've had 1.5 million in revenue, I've had 600,000 in revenue to 60,000 in revenue. It's a rise and a fall, and they don't prepare us for these things, and they don't teach us these things.
No.
And so when you said, I thought I was doing something wrong. I don't think you ever were doing anything wrong. I think
Mhm.
we have every good intention to do the right thing
Yes.
until we realize that there's more information that we didn't know.
And that was kind of the conclusion that I had come to at the end of all of
Mhm.
this. You know, um, it's so recent, and so, like, at the time that I reached out to you,
Yeah.
that was when I knew, like, "Okay, I have to make the change." And so, at the beginning of this year, I do this fun thing where I decide, like, when something's not working, instead of getting rid of something, let me just add something or restructure it,
Yeah.
because that's what an ADHD homie does.
Yeah.
Because, why not, right?
We're right here, girl. Right
Yeah,
here.
I'm here for it, okay? And that's basically been my whole entire life story. But
I call it I call it the pivot. We just pivot.
yeah, yes, yes, good old pivot.
Uh-huh.
I love that. I just really struggled with a lot of the what was next for me. But one thing that has stayed consistent throughout my whole entire journey has
Mhm.
been that I want to help therapists. And whether my a therapist was a client of mine in therapy, or
Mhm.
whether I was coaching a therapist on how to start a practice, that was something that I could literally just sit in front of a screen and just say, let's do this. Like, let's problem solve. And so at the beginning of the year, I reached out to a good friend of mine and I said, okay, it's time to like get my branding started, get like, I had already done coaching stuff on the side, but I was like, I need my branding to reflect me. Like, that's what I want. And so we switched it up. Instead of just being Becca Ferguson LPC, we changed it to authentic coaching. And I really wanted it to match my idea of like what I was moving towards, which was values, and how I truly believe that when a therapist has a practice based in values, then they can thrive. And it's something that allows them to fall back on stability versus, you know, all the chaos that we have in this world all the time.
Yeah.
And for me, that was authenticity. And I hated I hated where I was, which was I have to turn on a version of me when I'm in all these other places. So I didn't like that. So we decided, let's build that brand. So we build authentic coaching, and it's way more of a version of me than
Mhm.
I had ever been. It's a lot less muted. And
Yeah.
then with that pivot, it just gave me more power to go into that next version of the therapy office, which was incorporating authentic coaching
Mhm.
into, subletting instead of a group practice, which now, instead of just being therapy and counseling, it's open to all wellness professionals in the area. And anybody that wants to be, wants to help our community feel better and contribute to a better world, they can come in and they can sublet, either virtually sublet or physically sublet. And they can use this space to work with individuals and also use our group room as well,
Yeah.
working with individual adults to make our world a better place. And if they want help building a values based practice and creating systems that actually are sustainable, because that was the only thing that helped me survive the past 2 years, was I am a beast at creating systems.
Yeah.
So I have systems on systems on systems. um, that's something that I can help them build. So
Yeah.
we have all of those things set up, and those are the boundaries that I have now. So it's not
Mhm.
one all package. It's it's like they can have a little bit of this, and if they want the next thing, then they can have the next thing. And it's me choosing me now. So
Yeah, that's a
beautiful thing.
really powerful pivot. I've always found, I think there's a specific type of person that is an entrepreneur, and most of us are very ADHD and very creative. The thing I could call our superpower is that we have the ability to realize something's not going the way it needs to go. And literally, in a matter of seconds, pivot to
Mhm.
create something that's gonna work, not only for us, but
Mhm.
for the community. And there are so many people out there that can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely saw that a lot when I was growing up. My dad and my mom were both business owners, and
Mhm.
I think that was a big part of the imposter monster. I call it the imposter monster because I'm very act based. And so I don't
Uh-huh.
know if anybody that's listening, if you're a therapist and you're act based and you know of monsters on the bus, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so I call it my imposter monster.
Uh-huh.
But imposter syndrome definitely gets the best of me, and I even made it on ChatGPT. It's very cute, and so that can be your logo for your
That
for
is
this
cute.
podcast. But I definitely have struggled with that just because of how I saw them run their business. My dad had
Yeah.
this idea of like, I'm gonna throw shit up against a wall and just hope it sticks.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like if I close down my business, if I close down the group practice, then I'm basically him. And I've just thrown shit up against a wall and hope it stuck. And like I'm no better than what he did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But for me, what I have seen is like I tried something and it wasn't a failure. And I learned so much about myself along the way. I learned
Yeah.
how much I was capable about and capable to be able to do. And also, I learned so many skills that when a therapist comes to me and they say, "Hey, I want to try something," I'm able to be like, "Well, let's think about this really critically and see if it's something that you're able to do, if it matches your values, if it matches like how you're able to work within it, if it's actually something that fits your lifestyle." Because, you know, at the end of the day, one of those last therapy sessions that I had before I
Yeah.
made the swap, it was like, people can own group practices and it can be really beneficial for them and they can do great. Wasn't a good thing for me. That's the flexible thought process.
Mhm.
And so I think that I can definitely run towards the things that matter to me while being aware of the things that aren't. And that is what helps me thrive.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
Now, if you can give one piece of advice to our audience, because
Yeah.
I know it's a lot, because
Ooh,
that's a lot of
one.
information you just gave, but one piece of advice,
Mhm.
and I know there's tons out there. Like for me, like you said, it didn't fail because nothing ever fails. We just have to figure out why it didn't work and put the pieces together to make something new,
Yeah.
right? But what
Yeah.
is that one thing that you would tell everybody?
Yeah. I mean, if you're listening to this, and I think it's like you're listening to this for a whole bunch of different reasons, right? And I think that one of the things that would probably be my biggest piece of advice, man, either you're super ADHD or you're just like a crazy person that likes to listen to podcasts. I don't know. And that's up to you. Or maybe you're a group practice owner, you're trying to figure out how to pivot, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think the best thing is, like, don't try and figure it out all at once. I know what works for me whenever I am really stuck. And I'm just like, I don't know how to figure something out. And I have to give myself some compassion here and understand what's best for me. I think what I do is, well, I know what I do. I go on to like Loom or a voice memo or something like that, and
Mhm.
I will literally get my phone out and I will just start talking. And
I
I'll
do the
talk out,
same thing.
yeah, I'll talk out the problem, and I will just like, I'll go to town. I will just record and record and
Mhm.
record. But I'm telling you, I got this new camera and now it zooms in on me. If it's a whole thing. But I'll just start talking, I'll like process the problem. What I used to do was like, okay, now I have to figure it out. So I'm going to listen to it and I'm going to sort it all out right then and there. But now what I do is I take some time in between. I'll like set a reminder for like 2 or 3 days later to listen to
Mhm.
it, like headphones on, journal out, whatever it is, because if I try and figure it out right then, that's not very compassionate. And
Mhm.
we can practice self compassion if we take our time and we really understand what our needs are. And so maybe take a break, voice the problem, but take a break in
Mm.
between. See what the pattern is. Listen to the voice memo like it's not your own problem, but listen to it like it's a good friend. And how would you solve it if your friend was having that problem? Separate it from yourself. And then if you see patterns coming up, then, you know, go to therapy. If your therapist doesn't work for you, then find another therapist, like those types of things.
Yeah.
I think all of those things are self compassion and we deserve that.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. The one thing I always tell people is to don't be afraid to tell people you need help, and don't be
Yes.
afraid to tell people that you didn't know what you were doing and you took a
Yeah.
tumble in the dirt, you know? Like I take tumbles in the dirt all the time. I am not ashamed of it.
Yeah, I think that was, like, probably the most vulnerable part about all of this, and I got really lucky. Like, I know we met in the Thriving Therapist group.
Yeah,
I went to Megan Gunnell's Costa Rica retreat at the beginning of this year,
that's
and
awesome.
it was so much fun, and I met, like, my best friend there, and so she's been the one that's been, like, helping me through all of this, and we actually set aside time on Fridays, basically starting at, like, 10 o'clock in the morning until, like,
Good.
we're just done, like, getting on Google Meet and just, like, talking about the chaos that
Yeah.
we're going through. So, sometimes you just have to set ti aside a time for yourself, like, be
Yeah.
compassionate.
Yeah. No, I have an accountability partner that I talk to every Monday and we guide each other through also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
It's magic. Magic for sure. Well, thank you, Becca. I'm so excited that you were able to come on and be a guest today. I think what you gave the audience was a lot of great, valuable information. And I know a lot of therapists are going to hear this and want to know more, right?
Yes, yes.
So if they want to know more and they want your services or they want to get some help from you, how do they find you?
Of course, yes. So they can find me on Instagram at, well, I was gonna say at, and then I was gonna be like at. So because I'm like learning how to use all of the social
The
media
lingo.
things. And also I'm just like this lurker on social media that doesn't like things, and I need to learn how to do that too. I'm just like so bad at it.
Like and share, like and share,
I
like and share.
know. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I just like my feed is inundated with like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce stuff right now because I just need joy, and that's it.
It's joyful.
I know. I'm just like, give me your joy.
Yeah.
But yes, you can find me at Becca Ferguson LPC on Instagram, and my website is beccafergusonlpc.com. I have all the stuff in my link in bio that I'm going to update like right now.
Good. Yes, do it.
So there's that. And then also, if you want to follow me, thetherapyofficear.com for my other practice as well, then you're more than welcome to do that at the therapy office AR as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Becca. Are you going to Megan's Portugal?
I'm not, man. I just, oh
Aw.
gosh, planes
I'm gonna
terrify me.
present. I'm like, I'm gonna be there presenting. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, amazing. I love
Yeah.
that for you. But I almost like the plane
It's
was.
not for you.
But kudos, because
Yeah.
I almost applied and I was just like, okay, but if I have to get on one more plane, then I think I might just like, I need like at least a 5-year break. I think that's what it is, like 5-year break from a plane. Some people can travel. I need like extensive EMDR, but before I do that, maybe I should do EMDR on like all the other trauma that's happened in my life.
Yes.
So like
And then the planes won't be an issue.
maybe I'm just like maybe magic EMDR for everything else.
Yeah, we need to get you EMDR'd because you got a good voice and you have a good story and the world needs to hear it, Becca.
Man, I'll tell you, if we have, you're gonna have so many EMDR therapists that are gonna listen to this and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, Becca, I'll
Someone take on Becca.
like, oh my gosh, but my therapist, she's tried. So like she's over here just like, oh no, no, we're good. We got this. Like, let me take it from here. And it's just like she's tried, and I'm over here just like, Lord have mercy.
You got this,
And
Becca. I
it's
have
a
faith in
whole
you. You're
thing.
gonna
I
do
appreciate
it.
it. I
You're gonna
appreciate
do
it.
it.
I'll do it virtually. I'll do it. Well, I'll text Megan. I'll say like I'll go to Portugal virtually. So
Thank you so much, Becca. I'll make sure to
appreciate
get
it.
all your links in the description so people can contact you. And thanks everyone for listening to Untamed and Unapologetic.
Thanks,
Bye
guys.
for now. Hey, thanks for listening to Untamed and Unapologetic. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe. Stay connected, and we'll see you at the next one.